Okay, so day 3 na po tayo ng impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Today po, July 8, 2026. At ngayon po nakita natin yung very first cross-examination ng defense lawyer si VP Sara. So based on the direct examination kahapon and the cross-examination today, ay medyo nakikita na po natin kung ano yung pupuntahan itong first article of impeachment na to kung ako po ang tatanungin ninyo. So for today po, i-explain ko sa inyo yung mga observations ko and then magbibigay lang din ako ng mga examples and discussion na kung ako po ang tatanungin ninyo ay mas magiging direct to the point sana or mas mapapabilis yung kaso. And tingin ko rin po mas magiging understandable, madali pong maintindihan ng taong bayan na nanonood. And aside from that po, magbibigay na lang din ako ng personal opinion ko po kung sino tingin ko yung lamang so far based on the direct examination and cross-examination. Okay, so good day po to all of you, my fellow taong bayan, mga ka-Seymour, at yan po ang video natin for today. Okay, so for the facts of our case po, again, this is the very first cross-examination po ng defense ni VP Sara Duterte, and yung mga tinutukan talaga ng cross-examination dito is mainly yung competency, yung kakayanan, kung may kakayanan ba talaga mag-testify itong si NBI agent as to certain mga bagay-bagay na dinidiscuss niya dun sa testimony niya or sa judicial affidavit niya. And then yung isa pong tinutukan din dito ng defense is yung wala talagang personal knowledge or direct involvement or direct knowledge ito si NBI agent na may hinire po talagang assassin si VP Sara para dun sa alleged papaya plan niya. And then yung tinanong din po dito ni Senator Judge Robin Padilla at ni Senator Cayetano, Alan Peter Cayetano, kung saan ba talaga pinakagaling yung video, at sinabi naman dito ni NBI agent ay galing siya from another source which is yung Zoom application, tapos ni-record lang niya using his computer. So yan lang naman po yung pinaka nakita kong relevant talaga. Aside from that po, i-discuss ko na lang din briefly kung ano ba talaga yung cross-examination para maintindihan ninyo. So in the examination of witness kasi meron po yung 4 stages, which is yung direct examination, cross-examination, redirect examination, tapos re-cross-examination. So yung direct examination po, yun yung pinakaunang question and answer sa witness. Tapos ginagawa po yun nung party kung sino yung magpe-present ng witness. So ito si witness na NBI agent, ang nag-present po sa kanya is the prosecution. So yung prosecution po ginawa nun direct examination, yung initial. Tapos yung isa lang ding interesting i-take note ninyo dito, sa direct examination po kasi bawal yung leading question, yung ikaw magli-lead to a certain answer sa witness. So hindi pwede yung sasabihin mo lang na did you do this? Correct? So magiging yes or no yung question, di ba? So bawal po yun. Dapat yung witness lang yung mag-explain talaga ng sagot based on his personal knowledge sa direct examination. Whereas yung kinaibahan po sa cross-examination, pwede ka na po mag-leading question. So kung may gusto kang ipasagot na yes or no sa witness, pwede po yun. And as a matter of fact, ginawa yun actually dito ng defense lawyer ni VP Sara. Tapos inobjectan nga yun dito nung prosecution lawyer. Pero ang ruling ni Presiding Officer Escudero ay pwede naman sumagot yung witness depending on sa manner na gusto niya sagutin, provided it directly answers yung question being asked by the lawyer. So yan po, and then after ng cross-examination, merong parang basically round 2, yung redirect. Uulit po ngayon yung lawyer na nag-present sa witness na yun, redirect. At yung purpose naman ng redirect ay para kung let's say may mga statements na sinabi yung witness dun sa cross-examination na hindi pabor sa kanila, ay pwede niya yun ngayon i-counter or ipa-clarify dun sa redirect. Tapos yung next nga, recross naman. So kung may nasabi naman po during redirect na hindi favorable para dun sa defense, pwede niya naman yung tanungin, ipa-clarify ulit sa recross examination. Okay, so yan lang po ang basic procedure in the presentation of witness. Pero in this actual case, hindi na po nag-redirect yung prosecution. Okay, so ngayon po, punta naman tayo sa first interesting question natin, which is kung ano yung nakikita kong malaking issue dito sa mga happenings sa proceedings so far. So quick break lang mga ka-Seymour, gusto ko lang po kayo i-remind na hopefully po you can like this video and mag-subscribe din sa YouTube channel ko kasi 100% free po yung YouTube subscription. Tapos kung gusto naman po ng behind the scenes /Maritesan sa Facebook naman po kayo mag-follow. And of course, salamat din po sa lahat na nakasubscribe na. We have recently crossed po 464,000 subscribers sa YouTube. Konting-konti na lang po, mag 500,000 na tayo kaya hopefully po makonsider ninyo mag-subscribe. Okay, ngayon po tuloy tayo sa discussion. Okay, at yung issue po na yun para sa akin is yung nag-focus sila masyado sa chain of custody nitong evidence na to. And this is with all due respect, of course, to the prosecution and defense lawyers and of course to the senator judges natin. Kasi like sa defense lawyers, gets ko naman po na talagang gagawin nila lahat nung pwede nilang gawin na tingin nila favorable to their client. Kaya madami silang objections during the direct examination. Tapos during the cross-examination, madami rin silang repeating questions na pinaklarify nila paulit-ulit dito sa witness. And yung isang ang purpose nun ay para mapakita talaga kung na-preserve ba yung chain of custody na tinatawag. Kung whether or not from the time na na-record yung video up to the time na na-deliver sa Senate Impeachment Trial Court, kung na-preserve ba talaga na yun yung one and the same na document or na video pa rin from stage 1 all the way up to na nadala nga po sa Senate. So that is an issue po kasi of admissibility ng evidence, and kaya ko po nasabi na malaking issue yun siya kasi kung makita nga po natin madaming repetitive actions, repetitive questions, or in simple terms, kumain po talaga siya ng oras ng Senate Impeachment Trial Court. And kung titingnan po kasi natin sa Senate rules, may very unique rule po yung Senate Impeachment Trial Court niyan, and that is because of the sui generis function po ng Senate Impeachment Trial Court. So ipakita ko lang din po sa inyo yung Senate or yung impeachment rules para maintindihan po ninyo yung point ko. So ito po, we're back in the rules of the Senate, then pupunta lang tayo sa impeachment rules. Yan. Kita nyo naman po, di ba? Resolution number 39, resolution adopting the rules of procedure in impeachment trial, and then yung relevant provision po natin is this one, itong nasa number 6. So i-zoom in ko lang po. So dito po makikita natin ang nakalagay, the President of the Senate or the Chief Justice when presiding on the trial may rule on all questions of evidence including but not limited to questions of materiality, relevancy, competency, or admissibility. So ito po yung issue natin, di ba? Competency or admissibility of evidence and incidental questions, which rulings shall stand as the judgment of the Senate unless a member of the Senate shall ask that a formal vote be taken thereon. So in simple terms po, ang ibig sabihin nito, pag admissibility yung pinapag-usapan, pwede yun actually desisyonan ng presiding officer. Tapos kung magkaroon ng question between the senator judges, pwede nila pagbotohan yun. Tapos kung makakuha po ng majority whether or not to admit a certain evidence, ay ma-admit pa rin po talaga yung evidence na yun, yung pinaka-point ko dito. So therefore, since this video naman po ay alam naman po siguro natin lahat, this is a matter of public interest. Tapos na-broadcast naman na to repeatedly kung saan-saan. Or in simple terms po, tingin ko alam na to ng halos ng buong Pilipinas, itong pinapag-usapan po nating video. Kaya ako po nasabi na big issue yung sa admissibility kasi yun nga po, ang dami ng time na gamit just for the admissibility of this video. But like what I stated, it is a matter of public interest, public knowledge naman na. Tapos kung despite nga na merong mga lapses doon somewhere down the road sa chain of custody, ay pwede naman yun siya pagbotohan pa rin ng senator judges because of their internal rules na allowed yun siya. In other words, mas maganda sana kung nag-focus na lang sila directly dun sa main issue, which is whether or not may betrayal of public trust ba talaga because of those video statements ni VP Sara. 'Di ba? Para sana mas mabilis at mas madali nating maintindihan lahat kasi yun nga po, pag admissibility, madali yun na ma-solve po ng Senate Impeachment Trial Court being a sui generis constitutional proceeding. Okay, so ngayon with that said, magbigay po ako ng examples na tingin ko mas madali sanang maintindihan ng taong bayan kung whether or not may betrayal of public trust ba talaga yung ginawa ni VP Sara Duterte. Okay, so una po dito, alam naman nating lahat na tinawag to si NBI agent to testify on this ground kasi yung allegations nga ay may betrayal of public trust na ginawa si VP Sara because of the criminal cases filed to her in relation dun sa video statements na ginawa niya. At yun yung actual legal theory din po ng prosecution kasi yun naman yung in-explain ni Attorney Ligutan kahapon dun sa direct examination niya or dun sa part po kahapon sa proceeding nung nagtanong si Senator Risa Hontiveros sa kanya. So ngayon, ang actual example po na mabibigay ko dito, maganda na tanungin na to directly ito si Mr. Witness NBI agent na kung ano ba yung purpose ng pag-appear niya dito sa hearing. So, pwede po yun siya tanungin, Mr. Witness, you are here to testify today on the impeachment trial of VP Sara Duterte, specifically on the article of impeachment related to or grounded on betrayal of public trust because of the cases filed against her due to an alleged grave threat she committed. Is that correct? So, pag ganun yung tanong mo, of course, sasagot yun siyang yes kasi yun yung purpose niya, di ba? Alam naman nating lahat na this is an impeachment trial ni VP Sara Duterte. This is for the article of impeachment na betrayal of public trust because of dun sa alleged grave threat, alleged plan of papaya. So of course, yung sagot na lang dun, yes, hindi naman pwede mag-iba na yung sagot niya dun eh. And then yung next po dyan ngayon, pwede natin siya tanungin as to the main tasks na ginawa niya, which is, ito, tinestify din naman niya, di ba? So tanungin natin siya, Mr. Witness, your main task was to preserve the evidence, to investigate, and to recommend the filing of cases against VP Sara Duterte. Is that correct? So of course, sasabihin niya naman dyan, for sure, yes. Kasi yun yung sinagot nga naman niya dun sa direct examination sa kanya. And then yung pwede nating follow up dyan ngayon, sabihin natin, Mr. Witness, in your recommendation of filing of grave threats case or of a criminal case against VP Sara Duterte, did you come up there with a finding that she is unfit to hold office or that she committed betrayal of public trust? So of course, sasabihin niya dyan, no. Diba? Kasi yung for sure findings lang naman yan ay para lang mag-file ng case. Hindi naman yan directly sinabi dyan sa findings sila na unfit na to hold office si VP Sara Duterte. But alam ko rin naman po, yung ganung question, for sure mag-object yung prosecution dun. Kasi sasabihin yan or possible po na sabihin nila na hindi alam ni witness yung ganung question or hindi niya po masasagot, incompetent po siya to answer kasi hindi naman lawyer, diba, yung witness. So sasabihin he is incompetent to answer constitutional issues, so on and so forth, not being a lawyer. And yung counter naman po natin dyan, hindi po natin gusto i-point out or makuha yung sagot from the witness as to constitutional issues. Hindi po yun yung point natin, kundi yung point po natin ay gusto lang natin mapakita na yung pag-file ng cases or pag-recommend na mag-file ng cases, wala yung kinalaman on any constitutional issue like that of betrayal of public trust. Or in simple terms, hindi po purkit nag-file ng kaso or nag-recommend ng file ng kaso ay mag-i-equal na yun siya to a betrayal of public trust. Kung hindi, yung point lang ng recommendation nila ay para lang filean siya ng criminal case. Period. Yun lang. Wala nang kinalaman talaga yun sa betrayal of public trust. So from that line of questioning, I'm sure nakita nyo naman po siguro na medyo direct na inaatake agad yung legal theory ng prosecution doon. Unlike dito na kine-question nila yung custody, competency, yung investigation, at the end of the day po kasi tandaan natin, kahit na sabihin natin na incompetent siya mag-investigate, so on and so forth, and na-file na po yung actual cases, diba, pending na sa DOJ. So, tapos na yun, na-cross the bridge na basically yung part na yun. So, mas maganda sana atakihin na directly yung legal theory in relation to this witness, yung mga actual na ginawa ng witness na to. Pero tandaan po natin, this is just my professional point of view. Hindi ko naman po sinasabi tama ako. I'm just sharing yung possible na gagawin ko kung ako po yung nandito. So again, this approach lang directly attacks nga po the legal theory na hindi porkit may filing of cases, automatically may betrayal of public trust na. Okay, so ngayon po ang next question naman natin, sino sa tingin ko ang mas lamang so far based on what happened in the direct and cross-examination? Okay, at ang masasabi ko lang po dyan, at ito po, wag kayong magalit sa akin ha, but I am just basing it on what happened so far dito sa direct and cross-examination. So currently po, ang klaro pa lang ay meron talaga yung existence of yung video na yon. Pero despite it being clear na meron talaga yung video na yon, alam naman na po yun nga, like what I explained earlier, alam na po yun ng halos ng buong Pilipinas. Matter of public interest talaga yun siya kasi broadcasted yun siya everywhere throughout the country nung nangyari yun. And as a matter of fact, ako personally, nakagawa ako ng 2 videos in relation to that issue kasi yung una kong video, binlock sa TikTok, ni-restrict sa YouTube at Facebook. So I had to make another one without yung mga certain words na para makaiwas block at restriction. Diba? So dun pa lang po makikita natin na talagang matter of public interest, alam na po yun ng buong Pilipinas. So going back to my main point, yun yung clearly na na-establish pa lang ng prosecution na existing yung video na yun. Pero as to the existence, kung meron ba talagang betrayal of public trust, kung ako po ang tatanungin, medyo kulang pa po yung prosecution kasi like what I explained, hindi naman automatic porket may final na case na equal agad yun to a betrayal of public trust. Kasi tulad po, di ba, nang in-explain ko kahapon dun sa day 2 video natin, ang legal definition po based on jurisprudence sa betrayal of public trust, it is something done in bad faith na merong tyrannical abuse of power in the simplest way na ma-explain po natin. So yung ganun bang actions ni VP, ganung statement niya, is that a tyrannical abuse po ba ng kanyang kapangyarihan as the Vice President? At may bad faith po ba siya nung ginawa niya yun? Diba, in-explain ko po yun kahapon, so medyo may idea naman na po kayo sa sagot dun. And because of those reasons po, kaya ako nasabi na kulang pa yung prosecution to establish yung betrayal of public trust. Kasi yung evidentiary requirement din po niyan in impeachment cases is clear and convincing evidence. So when you say clear and convincing evidence, dapat malaki-laki yung lamang mo dun sa ebidensya ng defense. Hindi pwede yung 51% lang tas 50 yung kabila. Kundi dapat na more or less nasa ano kanyan, 70-75% if we just base it on numerical figures. Pero we have to remember, hindi po talaga mathematical yung evidence. I'm just giving you an example sa mathematical figures para po mas madali ninyo ma-visualize. So yan po ang masasabi ko as to this. But again, tandaan, dito pa lang po yan sa first witness at up to the cross-examination. So may other witnesses pa naman po yung prosecution. Tingnan lang din natin kung ano yung magiging development. But based on everything, malayo pa po, hindi pa clearly or hindi pa po established with clear and convincing evidence yung existence of betrayal of public trust. Yung clear pa lang po talaga ngayon is the existence of the video kung ako po ang tatanungin ninyo. Okay, so yan lang po ang masasabi ko as to this issue. Kung gusto niyo po panoorin yung day 2 of the impeachment trial ni VP Sara Duterte, dito niyo po yan mapapanood sa video na to. And wag niyo po kalimutan mag-like and subscribe. And until next time, see you all po. Bye-bye!